Hello, class. This is last week we talked about chapter 1 and chapter 18. So now we are going to cover chapter 2, operations strategy and competitiveness. So basically, operations strategies is connected to what we call the corporate business strategy. And the strategy is some kind of plan to, for the company, the action plan to guide the company to compete in the market, and not just compete, but, generally when you compete, you want to win. So generally it's like a plan to outperform your competitors in the market. And it usually help differentiating from the firm, differentiate the firm from their competitors. Okay, so it's how they do things differently. And they also are the game plans for different function strategies are developed. So we will have a overall business strategy, and then each different functions, they will develop the strategy, top down. Yeah. So for the functional strategies, it will be focused on doing the right task. So business strategy, define the long-term plan for companies. And then under that, we have different functional strategy. So for example, finance strategy, they will develop financial plan to support the business strategy. And then marketing strategy, they would define the marketing plan to support the business strategy. And then operations strategy, where we are going to focus today, they will develop a plan for the operations function to support the business strategy. So what does that mean when we talk about operations strategies? So, so there are 3 inputs for the business strategy. Okay, so we will have environmental, sometimes we call evaluation, or we call environmental scanning. So they would kind of analyze the business environment, like what's the new trends, any threats or opportunities out there. And then the mission statement. It defines like what is our business, who we are, and who do we want to serve, what's our value. Yeah. And then we have the core competencies. So core competencies are the unique strengths that will help the company to win in the market. So for example, the core competencies for Walmart is they have strong bargaining power. Okay, so they can get everything at lower cost so that they can sell product at low cost every day. Okay, so that's their core competencies. So examples from the strategy. So like Dell, their mission statement is, Dell's mission is to be the most successful computer company in the world. Okay, and then the environmental scanning be like political trends, social trend, economic trend. Like now we watch the inflation rate closely, and watch the Fed announce interest rate, so that would affect how companies do. And then marketplace trend, the global trends, and now the trend is deglobalization. Yeah. So there are different trends. And then the core competencies could be, some strong part for the workers. They have good facilities. Maybe some companies, they just understand the market better. Okay, and they have the best technology, financial know-how, logistics. So different companies, they have different type of core competencies. So operation strategies are, something that we design in the operations functions. So like some example here. So usually when we talk about operation strategy, there are 4 competitive priorities, 4 competitive competencies we will focus on. One is cost, want to produce stuff at low cost. And then the second one is quality. We want to make sure the quality is good. And then time. Can we deliver in time? Can we develop or produce something fast enough? Okay, so before Tesla's car, like people like Tesla's car because it looks nice, right? The design is very nice, but the wait time, when you place the order, you have to put in like $3,000 deposit, and you have to wait for like 2 to 3 years. Okay, so a few months ago, finally, their wait time is 30 days. Okay, so people were saying like, oh, they improved their production time, but another group people will say, oh, because they couldn't sell their car now, and that's why people realize how bad their car is. So that's why they couldn't sell it. That's why the wait time is shorter. So different way to interpret things. But so the time is also something really important. And then flexibility, whether you can provide some kind of flexibility for your customers. There will be for some company there will be a good plus, big plus. Yeah. So to design the operations functions, so we will be working like focusing on what's our competitive priorities we want to focus on: cost, quality, time, flexibility. Okay, and then we have from there we have to kind of develop the facilities, design the facility, and then design the flow of our product, and then decide what kind of technology we are going to adopt. Okay, so the infrastructure that's related to this will be the planning control system that we're going to use, workers, the pay system, the quality, so these are part of operations functions. Okay, and that's how we can design the operation strategy, and from there we can kind of design different operations functions or different areas. So the competitive priorities, okay, or competitive edge, there are 4 things. So usually we compete on cost, quality, or time, or flexibility. Okay, so or some companies, they are just good at everything. They can provide good quality stuff at relatively low cost, and then at very efficient time. And then if you want something to customize made, they can also do it for you. Okay, so some companies can do that, but very few can do that. So usually are there trade-offs like between cost and quality? Intuitively we know if we want something cheap, usually the quality is not good. Okay, and if we want something good quality, usually it's not cheap. Okay, can company reach all of those, or are there really trade-offs? Okay, so that's something that we have to kind of think about. Okay, and like I mentioned, there are companies that they are able to produce stuff at very low cost, but with good quality. Okay. So one good example I can think of is Toyota. Toyota's car is, their car, they're like, what's the car? Prius. And then before that is Corolla. Yeah, Toyota Corolla is like a very small car, and it's relatively cheap, right? And it's actually good quality. So how do they do that? So it turns out Toyota actually, when they started, they focus on quality first. Okay, they want to make sure their quality is very good, and they are very strict with the quality. And when a company does that, eventually, because the quality has to be good, so they become very efficient, and they try to do things fast, and they try to when you try to control quality, you don't want any waste, so they try to lower the defect, and then eventually the cost is down. So they are like one of the very few examples that they can do all of them, but the thing is that there's a specific order they have to follow. They have to focus on quality first, and then later on build on that. Then the cost will be low. But you know, a lot of company, if you focus on cost, if you try to cut costs first, it's very difficult to turn around and to make high quality stuff. Okay, so it's just, you know, some of the priority. So competing on cost, you know, what do we do? So usually when we compete on the cost, usually it's for high volume product, so we can reach the economy of scale. And usually the product range will be smaller. Okay, we won't offer a huge variety of product, and then the customization are also minimum. Okay, because if we want to lower the cost, we have to, you know, follow standardization, standard procedure. It would, you know, increase the efficiency and lower the defect, lower the mistake. And then so they might, the company might also invest in automation, and so that they can reduce the unit cost, like for every product they make, the average cost will be lower. And then they can also, they sometimes use the lower skill labor, because, you know, it's cheaper to use lower skill labor. And they will use a product focused layout. Okay, so focus on, you know, produce the product. So that's the quality when we, cost, when we compete in the cost. And when we compete on quality, then, you know, we want superior feature, we want high durability, excellent customer service. Okay, so we will be doing the good design, and then we want the product service consistency there. So it, you know, has to meet certain design specification, and then the tolerance will be smaller. We'll talk about the tolerance later on in a later chapter when we talk about quality control. And then error-free delivery, you know. Oh, speaking of that, so I ordered this Peloton, and Peloton treadmill. I don't know how many of you bought or try to look up for treadmill. So Peloton treadmill costs about $3,500. It's very expensive. But but when I went to the store, they say they have 30-day free try. Like if I don't like it, they will literally return every penny I pay, and then they will just ask someone to take the stuff back. Okay, free, you know, everything free. So I thought, okay, let me try. So I placed the order, and it's been 2 weeks, even though I only use it twice. My daughter has been using it every day, but the quality, it's actually very nice. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like the, you know, the handle is very sturdy, and on the screen it's big. It's like, and the classes they offer are like nice. It's motivational. Like it actually encouraged me to run. You know, I bought the treadmill to just walk, but they don't have the walking lesson. They only have running. So I picked like the easiest running, and then they start by like walk fast, and then they ask you to like run for a few seconds and then stop, and then just walk really fast and then run for like 1 minute and stop. So it, you know, it kind of helped me. Like it doesn't make me, it's hard for me, but it's not too hard that I want to quit, you know. So and then yeah, so the service, it's like, it's actually very good, I think. Yeah, so so I don't know, I'm still deciding whether or not I want to return it, because it's so expensive. But they do offer the 24-month 0 interest payment, so it's okay, it's not that bad, you know, if I pay over 24-month period. Yeah. So competing on time, that means they want maybe fast delivery, okay, shorter time between when we place order and when we receive it. So like Peloton, I placed it like on a Sunday and I got it on Wednesday. So it's not bad. And then on-time delivery, like when they tell you they are going to deliver between 8 to 12 on Wednesday, they did. And they actually call me, like a lot of time, you know, when they say, oh, we'll deliver on Wednesday and from 8 to 12, sometimes they show up at 2, sometimes they show up at 4 p.m. They don't call you, you know, so you have to wait at home doing nothing. Like you do something at home, but you know, you can go out and run your errands or stuff. But you know, they are very good with that. And then rapid development speed, like, you know, like iPhone, they usually have a new phone coming up every year. So it's like they actually develop it really quick. Sometimes we complain that it's not much, you know, improvement, but you know, still it's like 14 is always better than 13, 13 better than 12. So even though, you know, it's not, sometimes we feel it's not much improvement, but still, like, you know, it's good. So, and then competing on flexibility, you know, like product flexibility, whether or not it's easy to switch the production from one to another, and can we easily customize the product or service? Okay, so now even with the standardized product, you know, people find like companies find ways to kind of customize the product, like, you know, like even like iPad, you know, iPad, it's all pretty much all the same, different colors, but pretty much all the same, right? And but you can customize, you can put your personal engraving on the back of the iPad, you know, so that's some kind of customized. So, you know, so that's actually good. And then the volume flexibility. So you know, that's for the production side. Like sometimes when we start a production, like they have whole batch of, you know, 1,000 units. You have to make 1,000 once you start. But there are some production, they can be more flexible in terms of the volume. Yeah, so it depends on, you know, what we want to focus on. And then are there priority trade-offs? So what do we, it depends on what our customers want or how we want to promote to our customers. So some priorities are what we call order qualifiers. So those are the unique features that would qualify our product in the customer's selection or option list. Okay, so like, for example, like when we try to buy a phone, you know, we have different like features we want. Like we want the phone to be fast, we want to have a good camera, like I want it to be cheap, I want to have bigger screen, you know, because I can't see. Yeah, so there are different order qualifiers. Okay, so like so you must have some good quality, everybody expect that, or you know, just something that the customer want. And then for that particular, under the order qualifier, there's a particular thing you are looking for, okay, that make you decide, like from your list, you know, when you have the list, like good camera, you know, fast, long battery life, then you have some product in mind, some different phone models in mind, and then eventually you pick one out of those. That's the one thing that that make you decide to pick this phone over the other phones. That's the order winners. Okay, so well, this is so they'll compete on all 4 priorities, but you know, that's not a order winner. But usually we bought Dell computers because it's cheap. And then Southwest Airlines, they compete on the cost. Yeah, so we can see that Southwest Airlines, a lot of times their tickets are cheap, right? And McDonald's, they compete on the consistency. So no matter where you go, in theory, you know, the Big Mac would taste the same. Okay, like quality, it's also part of quality. So that's something that people are looking for. And then FedEx compete on the speed, you know, but now, you know, so now they are getting worse because of the pandemic, and then the economy is not good. So they started to cut, like they cut a lot of what is it, locations, and I think they even like sold some of their airplanes. So yeah, so unfortunately, and then the custom tailor compete on flexibility. Okay, so can you have both high quality and low cost? Like I already told you guys. Yes. So like Coke and Pepsi are good examples, and the Toyota. And then can you offer design flexibility and short deliveries? Yes, but difficult. Okay, so like some module housing manufacturers, they can do it. They make things like differently, different batch, and then just with different combinations that you can kind of make the design flexibility, right? So so this is the 4 competitive priorities that we usually are looking at in operations management. Okay, so to production requirement. So for example, the Dell computer, so based on what they are focusing on, what's the structure or infrastructure we have to look at, right? And so for them, they use the ERP system to help them, so that the customers, say when they order the product, they can order directly to Dell. And then I don't know if you guys experience like ever place order with Dell. So basically, it's like sort of like customized. They let you pick what kind of CPU, what kind of how big is the screen, whatever spec you want. How big is the what is it? DRAM, RAM or SRAM. I don't even remember now. So place the order and then you pick whatever you want, and then they will make the order for you. Usually within 1 week, they will ship it to you, right? So the product design and assembly line allowed a make to order strategy. So make to order is like whatever the customer want, you make to what they order. Okay, so they will lower the cost but increase turns. So the product design or assembly line. But sometimes the supplier ship component to warehouse within 15 minutes and of the assembly plant. Okay, so they have different components. They just need to assembly those things. So and then they have a shipping arrangement with UPS. I think they with UPS and both FedEx. So now we can buy a lot of stuff at Dell.com. So I bought all my how do you call it, toner? Is it called toner? The cartridge for laser printer. So yeah, so I ordered that from Dell. And because I have a credit card that gave me $200 every 6 months, so I have to spend it. And now I don't have anything I want to buy. So now I'm just piling up the toner for printer over the paper. Yeah, and or the tote bag, the computer bag, different type of computer bag. If you would see me with different computer bag, it's not because I'm wasteful. I want to spend money. It's just because I have the credit, I have to spend every 6 months. No, it's actually more than $200. So I have 2 credit cards. So it's $400 every 6 months. Yeah. So yeah, so that's so they actually, it's very good. Like when I order something, that usually deliver within 2-3 days with UPS, like the express delivery. Yeah. And then they wrap it really nicely. But I think there's something I think they are too, like they use a huge box. Like I ordered that last time I ordered, right? I ordered 4 different toners, like 3 color and then 1 black one. So they deliver, and the toner is like small, but they deliver each toner in 1 big box. And then in each big box, it's just a tiny toner, and then with a lot of bubbles, the plastic thing that they put around the toner. And so when I got home, I have like 4 huge boxes in front of my door. So it's like, I was like, what is that? And then it's very light because it has only 1 toner inside. So they do have a arrangement with UPS. And I don't know if they outsource their packaging. I think they are being wasteful. So I'm not like from here, I'm not buying Dell's stock because I feel they are not cutting their costs good enough. Yeah. So the strategic role for the technology. So the technology, they should support the competitive priorities. Whatever competitive priorities we want to focus on, we should get the matched technology. Okay. So for example, so there are three type of applications. So we have the new product technology, we have the process technology, and we have information technology. So the product technology is like we use different material, okay, like Teflon, CDs, fiber optic cable, or the processes like we try to install the flexible automation, the CAD system. And then for information technology, you have POS, EDI, ERP, B2P. So B2B, those are the information technology that help us to connect with our suppliers, with our customers to get more information. So to measure productivity, we usually use input, how input are converted to output. So we use output divided by input, okay? And the total productivity measure is the total sales divided by total input in dollar value, okay? You see a dollar sign. And then for partial productivity measure, we can use like how many cars by how many employees. So we know one employee can make how many cars per year or per month, whatever, whatever unit we are going to measure. And then we have multi-factor productivity measures. So we have multi-factor productivity like sales over the total cost, okay? So that's a multi-factor productivity. So let's try to do this, okay? So productivity example. So a car company, they presented the following data for the past 3 years. As a potential investor, you are interested in calculating yearly productivity, year-to-year productivity gains as one of the several factors in your investment analysis. So as we see from the previous slides, we have productivity, we have total productivity, partial productivity, multi-factor productivity, okay? So here, for every year, we have partial product measure. So the unit car sales, like how many cars we sell every year, divided by our total employees. So we have 18.3 in 2001, 21.2 in 2002, 24.1 in 2003. So, it shows, oh, it's improving, which is good. And then year to year improvement, it's from 18.3 to 21.2, that's 15.8%, and then 13.7% the next year. So the improvement rate decreased a little bit. Okay, the multi-factor productivity is the sales, the total sales divided by the cost of the sales. Okay, and the year improvement rate is 4.2 versus 1.6. Also, the improvement is slower, but they are improving every year. What is the best measurement? What do you guys think? So, I mean, in this case, I think that we use this to measure this. This is in dollar value. So maybe, either way is good, but either way shows that they have improvement, but the rate actually decrease. Okay, so if it's me, I will rethink about the investment. Yeah. So the productivity measures. So the raw productivity calculation do not tell the complete story unless there are no major structural differences. So in the previous example, okay, so like here we have 15.8 and then 13.7 improvement. And so what changes would improve car sales per employee? Automation, sourcing, major redesign. Okay, so maybe in this case, maybe automation, right? So how about the partial productivity major? Is it good enough to make a investment decision? Okay, so that's something we have to think about. So how about the total productivity major? Is it better reflection, and why? Try to think about that. And then if you look at the productivity major for two, so should you look at the comparison? Well, sure, we should look at the comparison. If the competitor also, their improvement is decreasing, so it could be the macro environment issue, not the company itself. So, but if the measurement is different, then we need to be a little bit careful when we do the investment. And for service, the productivity, nation's productivity affect our standard of living. So it's a major, on how effectively the resources are used. So our productivity, US productivity growth is about 2.8%. But it would be slow to 1.1. And in service, productivity is also grows even slower. So that's it for chapter 2. And I'm not going to go through this, but so these are just some examples you guys can try to practice. I think in our test we have some questions similar to that. So that's chapter 2. I'll try to record chapter 3 soon.